How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and welcome back to another patch video. Man, I didn't think we were gonna get another one so quickly. The fuck up also from the last patch where they kind of messed up all the infusion stuff probably also lit a fire right under their ass. There's a lot of great things. I honestly wasn't gonna make a video, but the first couple of things that I saw made me want to make a video on it. So, the very first thing, addition of the arena round plaza to the undead match. And in the post it says, yes, finally, the flat arena that everybody has wanted. Apparently there's also supposed to be screenshots that are going to be released tomorrow, so they're probably not out by the time you guys are seeing this video. I may or may not make another video with, the screenshots of that, but I guess just let me know if you want me to make that as soon as they go up, because I'll probably be up anyways. But a completely flat arena, finally, man. I'm so happy that they're finally listening. So many of us, all we ever said, just give us a flat arena. We do not need pillars that are knocked over. We don't need stairs. We just need something flat, and we'll be happy. I'm very excited to try this out here in a couple of days. They didn't give a specific date. It just says in a few days. Now, by the name Round Plaza, that kind of reminds me of, spoiler alert if you haven't played the Ring City, the final boss fight in the area where you fight Gale in the second half. That kind of, Round Plaza, it kind of gives me that type of vibe. I don't know, definitely let me know what you guys think this is going to be. New arena, completely new, or some type of cool boss room, because honestly, if they had just a flat area, and if they also had the lightning in it, holy shit. That would just be an extra obstacle that would make the arena amazing. Now, the next one isn't, very good for you invaders. I mean, I tried it a couple times, but for those of you guys who like invading boss fights, it's not very good, but for invaders in general, there's some pretty good shit in here. So obviously, fixed the bug where you could invade boss fights. We knew that was coming already. Fixed the bug where disabled items could be used. So in case you guys didn't know, there was like a glitch where you can use the spear, which you use in the boss fight for the spears of the church, the little ritual spear. That could be used in PvP, and it was completely broken and ridiculously insane because I believe it had like the range of like a mile, and it did insane damage, and you couldn't get out of it. I'm guessing that's what they're talking about. Fixed the bug where the spear of the church would be summoned outside the boss battle arena. I haven't had that happen actually. I have invaded a few times, at least as much as I can. It takes forever now to do it. I don't know why. It's probably because the DLC has been out for a couple days now, so. Fixed the bug where red phantoms could be summoned after the appearance of a dark moon blade or blue sentinel. Fixed a bug where resins and spell buffs could be applied to unbuffable weapons, so tumble buffing gone again, but don't worry, I'm guessing in about a month we're going to find another way to do it. Up to a total of 2 Dark Moon Blades or Blue Sentinels can now be summoned during online multiplayer. So I guess for those of you guys who are still trying to get your Dark Moon Blade and shit like that, I guess that's going to be easier now that there can be 2. For invaders who have to deal with an extra person, it's going to be a bit more difficult, although this next thing will also help you guys out. When a white phantom dies during an invasion, the host will now be unable to summon subsequent white phantoms for a certain period of time. Finally, man. It's been what, a year now since the game's been out, and they finally did this? I think it's a little too late, but I guess people who still invade consistently, it's better to do it now than to never have it at all. So now you're going to have an easier time. Like, you're not going to be having the guy summon his white phantom over and over and over and over, and you're going to have to kill 20 people. I don't know how long it's going to be. I hope that it's a decent amount of time, but let's be honest, it's not going to be a minute. It's going to be like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, probably around there. Increase the level range at which Dark Moon Blades and Blue Sentinels can now be matched. Again, it's one of those things that it should have been like this very long ago. There's probably not an insane amount of people that still do Dark Moon Blade and Blue Sentinel invasions, but if you do, you're probably very happy. Increased drop rate of Seed of a Giant, reduce the number that can be carried, and greatly reduce the duration of its effect. Again, something else to just help out invaders, that's going to last a lot less, and they said greatly reduce, so it's not going to be forever now, because it always felt like forever whenever you invade and they pop a Seed of a Giant tree. So that's great. Fixed an issue where some weapon skill animations could be used with other weapons. Next up, it is now easier to be interrupted when using most weapon skills. So I think this is just kind of a ploy, and the next patch is also kind of contributing towards that, to nerf Perseverance. Perseverance is kind of insane. I've always thought it was insane. It's kind of underrated, and I feel like the people who play a lot of PvP and have used stuff like the mace will realize perseverance is the best weapon art in the game. But the fact that they also said that it's going to be for a bunch of them, I'm guessing, you know, stuff with hyper armor, it's going to be easier to break people out of that. So I guess that's all right. I hope it doesn't affect things too much. I hope it doesn't make stuff like perseverance kind of shit. But the next one is reduce the absorption bonus during the latter half of perseverance weapon skill. So I'm guessing this is addressing the last 2 seconds that they added to buff perseverance from the last patch or 2 patches ago. So they're going to be lowering the defense probably for those last 2 seconds. The first 3 seconds are going to probably be exactly the same. And you're just going to take a little bit more damage for that second half, for the last couple seconds of perseverance. Increased tracking of attack animations for pike category weapons. And this is fantastic because I've always thought they had pretty bad tracking, especially if somebody rolls into you. If somebody rolls into you, that's all they gotta do to beat a pike. Increased stamina damage dealt by fist category weapons. To be honest, I didn't even know they did stamina damage. Am I dumbass? Probably. Or do you think that means like stamina consumption, like stamina damage to yourself, because they didn't take enough stamina whenever you swung them away? Added a small window where damage taken is increased after initiating a parry with fist and claw category weapons. So what I think this is them just making it harder to parry with claws and fists, because obviously they are the weapons that are the easiest to parry with. They have the shortest parry frames, and they had already even nerfed that previously. So the fact that they're making it even worse means that they probably want to move people towards parrying with actual shields instead of the claw weapons. You already take a shit ton of damage if somebody goes for a parry with a claw or the cestus. You take a shit ton of stamina. If you have like a greatsword and you hit somebody and they whiff it and you get a partial, you can just go ham on them. You'll be able to hit them at least 3 more times because their stamina will just be shit on. So now you take even more damage if you whiff a parry. So you parry kings who use that shit, you better be an actual parry king now, or else you're gonna get destroyed. Reduced damage of Gargoyle Flame Spear and Dragon Slayer Spear. That does lead me to believe, though, that they didn't do enough to the Gargoyle Flame Spear after the previous patch where they did nerf it along with, you know, stuff like the Follower Saber like 2 patches ago. And to be honest, I haven't even seen it much since then. It's mainly been DLC weapons and stuff like that. Added faith scaling to Sunlight Straightsword and Yorshka's Spear and reduced strength and dexterity scaling accordingly. So those of you guys who actually use those weapons on like a faith build will probably be very happy. Maybe they'll actually be good on those builds because Yorshka's Spear is kinda shit on even a quality build with good faith. Sunlight Straightsword's not that bad. It's a straight sword, so it's not gonna be that bad in general, but as far as other straight swords go, it's probably one of the lower tiered ones. Reduce critical damage of crow quills. Like, there's very few things that would get more damage on a riposte than the crow quills, so that's pretty good. So this next one is kind of weird to me. Alright, so it is all attacks from Rose of Ariando can no longer be parried. Okay, good. Great, actually. It should have been like that from the fucking beginning. But two-handed attacks now consume more stamina and no longer apply poise. Why are they nerfing the Rose of Ariandel? You already don't ever see it that much. I think they should have honestly done just no longer able to parry and maybe the stamina consumption, and that's it. No longer apply poise. That kind of blows. I never even really noticed that much hyper armor on the weapon to begin with, so. Fixed a bug where the second left bumper combo attack when two-handing Onikiri and Ubadachi was not dealing thrust damage. I guess that's good, but also didn't really need it because at that point, once you get the second combo off, you're already doing a shit ton of damage to the other person. You don't even notice it because it's so high sometimes. Fixed a bug where bleed effect for Pontiff Knight Great Scythe wasn't displaying in the menus. Fixed a bug where weapon skill Quake of Quakestone Hammer would deal more damage than intended to Spear of the Church. So there was some people just fucking up Spear of the Church with the Quakestone Hammer, and I wasn't there to witness it. I guess I would have been on the other side of it. I would be getting squashed by the Quakestone Hammer, but I would have wanted to see that. The fact that they had to actually patch it means it was probably significant. Reduce damage of Dark, Fire, and Raw infusions for Lothric Knight Greatsword. Reduce damage of Dark and Fire infusions for Murky Hand Scythe and Dragon Slayer's Axe. Increased the charge rate for effects that trigger on continuous attacks. For example, Pontiff's Right Eye, Old Wolf Curved Sword, Karthus Beacon. Wow, really? That's surprising. Isn't Karthus Beacon supposed to be like immediate anyways, like one hit and it starts off right away? I believe for regular hits it's 3. After 3, that's when you start seeing more damage, at least from Pontiff's right eye. So it's probably going to take 1 or 2 more hits now for each one of those things. And this is where the corrections start to be fixed. Readjusted damage and scaling for simple, crystal, fire, chaos, lightning, dark, deep, and blast weapon infusions that were changed in the regulation version 1.32, aka the previous patch where they fucked up royally and messed up all the infusions. So in case you guys didn't know, all those previously mentioned infusions were supposed to get a buff, and they accidentally got a nerf. For example, if you wanted to infuse a dark longsword or something like that, instead of getting more dark damage, you would actually get more physical damage instead of dark. Yeah, they fucked up pretty badly there, but they said they were going to fix it, and I guess it didn't take too long. Increased stamina consumption of the sorcery's magic shield and great magic shield. Now, I don't really know if for those two specifically they mean whenever you cast it, or if you're going to take more stamina when being hit in the shield when you're using a shield that has really low stability. I'd imagine it's the first one. Increased focus point consumption of the sorcery great magic shield, increased FP and stamina consumption, and reduced duration of the sorcery hidden body. Okay. Reduced stamina consumption and increased duration of Miracle's Great Magic Barrier and Vow of Silence. Now, I did see that some people did want a buff for Vow of Silence, and I guess there's a tiny one right there. Reduced focus point consumption of the Miracle Great Magic Barrier, and there's only like 4 more remaining, so stick with me. Fixed a bug where the amount of healing received from the Miracle Life Hunt Scythe would always be dependent on the faith value of the weapon equipped in the right-hand slot. That was a bug? I guess not a lot of people care because nobody uses the goddamn Life Hunt Scythe. You know what we needed was a Life Hunt Scythe buff. Another one, dude. Because I believe they already tried buffing it once and it just, wasn't really worth it. Reduce the effectiveness of Karth's Blood Ring. That's good. Maybe now somebody who's laggy and has that ring and is quickstepping won't be a fucking invincible god anymore. Reduced the absorption penalty when wearing Prisoner's Chain. That's good too, because a lot of times Prisoner's Chain is never really worth using because it's not that much of an increase in the things that it actually benefits for you to warrant taking more damage. So I guess we'll see how that is going to change once the patch comes out. And it looks like there's also new matchmaking rules for PvP and PvE. So for cooperation, here is what we're getting. So for people you summon, it's your soul level plus 10, and I'm guessing that is, you know, without a password, because soul level doesn't matter when you have a password. Now, I'm not entirely sure about what it was previously, but there is the invasion ones now. I don't know if that actually increased or got lower. You guys could probably tell me. But yeah, it looks like that's about it, man. Pretty good. To be honest, I think this might be better than the previous one. To be honest, the previous one was not that bad, but they kind of fucked up on the things that they were trying to fix. Mainly all the infusion things, and they also, you know, they also screwed up Spears of the Church. RIP in peace. But it looks like this is alright, especially for Invaders. And we got a confirmation of a new arena map, which I'm very happy about. And the fact that they have one coming out a few weeks after the DLC came out leaves me kind of hopeful that we might see more in the future. We might not get bigger DLCs, but maybe free updates and free maps. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you think we'll end up getting more DLC maps for Arena as time passes? Or will this be the final one? But damn, again, this is longer than I expected. If you made it this far, a like is very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace, everybody.